do we remember all those steps in choreography? A lot of people have been asking that recently, and so in this video I want to share 4 important tips on how to remember choreography. Hello, welcome to this channel. If we're meeting for the first time, I'm Lynn Hayden with Dancing for Him Ministries, and this is Worship Dance Tips and Techniques, where we cover all kinds of topics related to worship and praise dance. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you'll be aware of what's coming out next. Tip number 1, focus, then don't focus. What? When an instructor or the choreographer or the teacher is teaching you the steps, it's important to zero in and focus on their feet, their arms, what they're saying, how they associate movements with words. Just focus on learning the steps. Don't be distracted or just kind of stand there, but really focus in on what they're doing. Then don't focus. And so once you practiced with the instructor and as they're repeating it, try then to not look at the teacher. If you've already kind of got it and you've been practicing with them as they're doing it, and then you feel like you kind of have it, then don't look at the teacher while they're doing it and they're talking through it and they're marking through. Try to not look at them to make your brain remember. It kind of trains your mind to, it forces you to kind of remember the steps on your own without having to rely on looking at the teacher. So point number 2, practice it full out. So after you've marked through it, after you've focused and not focused and practiced marking through. Marking means, just kind of going through the motions, maybe not full out. So once you've finished, doing that, then practice it full out. It's important to practice something full out because it helps your muscle memory. Okay, so what's muscle memory? Let me read Webster's definition. Muscle memory: the ability to produce a particular movement without conscious thought, acquired as a result of frequent repetition of that movement. And so basically practice. Do your movements over and over again. That will help you to remember. I mean, you're literally creating neuron grooves in your brain when you practice something. So that's why it's important not to mark through it for very long, but to more so do it full out. Because let's say you mark it through and that's all you ever do is mark through the step. Then when it comes time to really practice it full out, it's almost like you have to retrain your brain all over again. You have to recreate more neuron grooves in your brain. So it's best to, just mark it for just a little bit, just until you kind of have an idea, and then really practice most of the time full out. It's also that recreating new neuron grooves in your brain is called neuroplasticity. Let me just read the definition of that. The ability of the brain to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to learning or experience. So that's Webster's definition. It's kind of like when you learn how to type on a typewriter. I remember going in school, we had a whole year of practicing and learning how to type. And you practice over and over and over every single day until after a while your brain just kind of goes on automatic pilot. Now I can look at something and not look at my fingers and type about as fast as I can think. So likewise with dance, when you practice something over and over again, you're, putting those grooves in your brain. So if you're wondering why can't I get this choreography? You just need to practice. So practice it full out and your muscle memory will kick in eventually and you'll remember the steps. Point number 3, try to video the teacher video the choreography. In some places, obviously, it wouldn't be possible or allowed, but if it's a classroom setting or your dance team practice times, things like that, just ask if you can videotape the choreography so you can take it home and practice it on your own. And again, it's just for reference. It's going to be reversed, obviously, when you look at it in your phone. The movements and choreography and everything will be reversed, so you probably wouldn't want to put that up and try practicing with it because you'll be going the wrong way. But it's just as a point of reference. You look at the camera, your phone, whatever, and it just kind of reminds you of the choreography, and then practice it on your own. And then when you come back the following week to practice, you've got that part, and then you're ready to go on to the next part. Another great way to remember choreography is to kind of name the movements. If a lot of times the instructor, the teacher, the choreographer will do that already anyway. I do that all the time. Like for instance, reach right and curve overhead, and reach right and curve over left. You see, so just by doing the movement and saying it at the same time really helps you to learn and remember that choreography. And one final thing I want to leave you with is it's important as worship dancers to really try to learn the choreography, really try to memorize it, practice it over and over again so it's deep down in your spirit and in your muscle memory, so that when it comes time to actually do the presentation, you can worship and not worry. So, question of the day. How do you remember choreography and remember steps in a dance? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd really love to hear from you. And remember, most of your good tips can be found in the community responses in the comments box below. So please be sure to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. So I hope you found that helpful. I look forward to seeing you at a conference, the retreat, or the online school. God bless you.